6:45. This is Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by Lavani Vijayatunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. The President says that the proposal submitted by many parties at the discussions with regard to the all-party government will be submitted tomorrow. Sri Lanka asked China to defer the visit of the research vessel to Hambantota. Heavy rains experienced in the southwestern part of the island will gradually decrease. The first Randoli Perhara of the Kandy Esla Festival will parade the streets tonight. In news overseas, UN's nuclear watchdog says there is a real risk of nuclear disaster in Ukraine. And in sports news, Commonwealth Games, that's in cricket, India qualifies for the finals. Those are the headlines, and now more to the details of the local news. President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that the proposal submitted by many parties at the discussions that were held with regard to the all-party government will be submitted to the parties on Monday. He made these remarks at a discussion held with the leaders of the 11 parties and the 43rd Brigade yesterday at the President's house. He also said that he is expected to have discussions with the Janata Vimukti Peramuna and the Tamil parties in the near future. He praised the enthusiasm shown by some parties to form an all-party government, ignoring their party differences. The Sri Lankan government has asked the Chinese government to defer the visit of the space satellite tracker ship Yuan Wang 5 to the Hambantota port until further consultations are made between the two governments. The spy ship was scheduled to dock at the Chinese-leased Hambantota port on the 11th of August for refueling and leave on the 17th of August. Designated as a research vessel, Yuan Wang 5 was built in the year 2007 and has a carrying capacity of 11,000 tons. The survey vessel departed Yingjing, China on the 13th of July and is currently sailing close to Taiwan, where China is conducting live fire drills as an aggressive posture against Taipei after allowing U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to visit the self-ruled island. According to the marine traffic website, the ship is currently in the East China Sea between South Japan and northeast of Taiwan. The Disaster Management Center stated that 13,740 individuals belonging to 3,470 families in the 10 districts have been affected by the inclement weather conditions prevailing in the country over the past few days. Director of the center, Sugat Disanayak, says that 574 individuals belonging to 137 families are currently relocated at safe centers and said that 5 individuals have lost their lives. Meanwhile, the Meteorological Department announces that the heavy rains experienced in the southwest part of the island will gradually decrease. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And we continue with more local news. The All Ceylon Restaurant Owners Association has decided to reduce the prices of a cup of plain tea and a packet of rice. The decision was taken in view of the reduction in the prices of essential food items, the association further said. Meanwhile, the price of a 12.5 kilogram of cylinder of domestic LP gas is expected to be slashed by nearly 200 rupees from tomorrow, according to Litrogas Lanka Limited. However, vendors at the Mani Market and the Central Fish Market Complex in Paliaguda complained that the prices of vegetables, fruits and fish have soared. The first Randoli Perhara of the Kandy Esla Festival will parade the streets tonight. The final Randoli Perhara will be held on the Nikini Full Moon Poya Day, which falls on Thursday. The Railways Department says that special trains have been added for operations from today. The annual August festival of Our Lady of Madhu in Mana started with the hoisting of the flag last evening. Bishop of the Mana Diocese, Most Reverend Lionel Emmanuel Fernando, inaugurated the festival. The festival of Madhu will be held for 9 consecutive days. Every evening, prayer will be followed by the Holy Mass, and on the 14th, there will be a special Eucharistic adoration and blessing. The festive High Mass will be celebrated with the bishops on the 15th of August. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. The President says that proposals submitted by many parties and the discussions with related to all-party government will be submitted tomorrow. Sri Lanka asked China to defer the visit of the research vessel to Hambantota. Heavy rains experienced in the southwestern part of the island will gradually decrease. The first Randoli Perera of the Kandy SLF Festival will parade the streets tonight. And that was the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalopa Vedamahatma.
The main news story for this morning: after a lapse of 2 years, measures will be taken to implement flights from Jaffna to India. The service will be implemented from the Palale airport to Chennai in India. Secretary of the Northern Province, S.M. Samanbandhusana, said that the flights will begin from next week. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalopa Vedamahatma.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
And in Watch Live this morning, the National Transport Medical Institution has announced that its medical examination fees for driving licenses will be increased from tomorrow. The National Transport Medical Institute further stated that this revision was made due to the increase in the prices of medical examinations fee and the materials and equipment used for it. Accordingly, the new medical examination fee to obtain a new driving license or for the renewal of light vehicles is to be increased to 1,500 rupees. And that came to you in Watch Light.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Headlines of the world news. The UN nuclear watchdog says there is a real risk of nuclear disaster in Ukraine. Gaza death toll rises as Israel targets militants. French mayor threatens 15,000 euros deposit to climb Mont Blanc. Those were the headlines, and now we want the details of the world news. The UN's nuclear watchdog has called for an immediate end to any military action near Ukraine's nuclear plant, warning of a very real risk of a nuclear disaster. IAEA chief Rafael Marino Grossi said he was extremely concerned by the reports of shelling at Europe's largest nuclear power plant. It comes as Ukraine said parts of the facilities were seriously damaged by Russian military strikes. Russia seized the plant in March. The Palestinian Health Ministry says 15 Palestinians have been killed in the Gaza Strip, where the Israeli military is targeting members of the Palestinian group Islamic Jihad. A 5-year-old, 2 women and several PIJ fighters, including the leader Tayazir Jabari, are among the dead. Some 300 Palestinian rockets and mortars have been fired at the Israeli sites since Friday, and Israeli officials said Israel said it launched the operations due to immediate threat from PIJ. A French mayor says conditions on Mont Blanc are now so dangerous that climbers should pay a 15,000 euro deposit to cover rescue and possible funeral costs. Jean-Marc Perilix, the mayor of Saint-Gervais, a village near the foot of the Western Europe's highest mountain, whose summit is at 4,807 meters, stated this: those who ignored warnings and took the outer route to the mountain were playing Russian roulette, he said. The heat wave has increased rock falls. And to end the world news, let's get back to the headlines once again. The UN nuclear watchdog says there is a real risk of nuclear disaster in Ukraine. Gaza death toll rises as Israel targets militants. French mayor threatens 15,000 euros deposit to climb Mont Blanc. Those are the world news, and let's move on to development news. Model village housing project initiated under the Indian government assistance is being carried out successfully. Minister Prasanna Ranathaga said that the construction work of 4 model housing projects have been completed. He said all arrangements have been finalized to open these houses to the public. 24 houses in the Anuradhapura district will be vested with the public under the patronage of the High Commissioner Gopal Bagle. A model village comprised with water, electricity, roads and other infrastructure facilities. And that was the development news.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank, we present your future.
Moving on to sports news, England's hopes of winning T20 gold are over after the home side fell to a 4-run defeat by India in the semi-finals at the Commonwealth Games. Opener Smriti Mandaha hit 61 off 32 balls, including 3 sixes, and Jemima Rodriguez made an unbeaten 44 as India posted a challenging 164 for 5. Captain Nat Skeever and Amy Jones looked like they may steer England home, but Jones was run out for 31. Desperate for runs, Skeever was also run out for 41 as England fell short. India will face Australia this evening at the final when England will play New Zealand for bronze. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A fleet of 4 electric 3-wheelers powered by solar energy was deployed for use of the visitors of the PMICH, which was donated by the Korean Energy Agency as assistance to Sri Lanka through the Sri Lanka Sustainable Energy Authority. The project was designed to utilize the existing solar PV installation at BMICH to operate an electric vehicle charging station. 4 e-Strike will be initially used to provide an in-compound transport to the visitors as BMICH is a facility which spans a large extent of land. That was the business news. Economic news follows.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The Board of Investment announced the completion of online visa recommendation system allowing investors to apply for entry, resident and visa extension services online. Foreign investors had been requested to be physically present when they apply for visa services in the past. Through the online system, though the online system was in place for some time, still foreign investors were required to take 3 physical visits to the BOI head office due to the partially incomplete system. That was economic news and the weather report to conclude.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
And finally, the weather report. The Met Department says the showers will occur at times in the Sabaragamuwa province and in the Nuwara Eliya and Kandy districts. Several spells of showers may occur in the western and northwestern provinces and in the Gaul and Mathura districts. Strong winds about 50 km per hour can be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, the northern and north central provinces and in the Hambantota district. And before we conclude this bulletin of news, let's get back to the headlines once again. The President says that the proposals submitted by many parties and the discussions with regard to the all-party government will be submitted on Monday. Sri Lanka asked China to defer the visit of the research vessel to Hambantota. Heavy rains experienced in the southwestern part of the island will gradually decrease. The first Rondoli Perhera of the Kandy SL Festival will parade the streets tonight. In news overseas, the UN nuclear watchdog says there is a real risk of nuclear disaster in Ukraine. And finally, in sports news, it's Commonwealth Games cricket. India qualifies for the finals. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news.